Brilliance Audio.
Where Waters Meet by Zhang Ling. Performed by Nancy Wu and Dan John Miller.
Chapter 1.
The suitcase retrieved from Pine Woods had remained in Rain's old bedroom untouched for 2 days. Phoenix waited till George left town for a clinical seminar to open it. The time had come, she realized, for her to have the conversation with Mother. Alone, face to face, soul to soul. Mother's room was kept exactly the same, as if she had never left. The last rays of the sun raged through the half-rolled curtains like a mad bull, smashing themselves against the wall, leaving behind a trail of angry dust. It was probably new dust that had never seen Mother. The bed was neatly made, every corner of the quilt stretched out smooth and flat. Phoenix noticed a hair on the pillow slip, a fine thread of silver against the dark blue fabric, left there before Rain's departure for Pine Woods. Still breathing, it seemed. Can a hair live on when its root has expired? Kneeling on the floor, Phoenix buried her face in the pillow, astonished at the dogged lifespan of someone's smell. It had been nearly 3 years since Mother had moved to Pine Woods, a faint mixture of sugar and sweat, like some overripe fruit. It was the smell, it suddenly hit her, of age and decay. She felt strangely connected to Mother, though fully aware that they, the hair and the smell, were just what Mother had left behind, like the skin shed by a snake. The real Mother was lying on the dresser, inside the metallic urn, glittering with a detached coolness made absolute by death, mocking the futile efforts of all the mortals who, regardless of how far they had fled, would all inevitably return to it in the end. Rain's initial signs of dementia had been minor and harmless, an occasional mixing up of dates, a rare instance of a door left unlocked or a pill time missed. Then one day, Phoenix found a shoe in the fridge. Standing before the fridge with its door open and cool air blowing at her, she began to shudder. She had finally found herself face to face with the beast. Then George came along. They shared everything, or he thought they did. The bumps and bruises in life. He let her into his memory of Jane, who had died of pancreatic cancer 10 years ago, and spoke to her about their daughter, Kate, now teaching English in Japan, and of his father, a political science professor in Cincinnati, too liberal for his time, who taught him to read beyond what was taught in school. Father's bold ideas had nearly cost him his teaching position at the university, when one day the FBI made a surprise call to his office, inquiring about a box of propaganda mailed to his home from the Soviet embassy at the request of his son George, then an 8th grader. In a letter addressed to the ambassador, George had written that he didn't quite believe what the history teacher says in class about your country. Father was astounded by George's reckless naivete, but never in any way discouraged or prohibited it. Several years later, when Vietnam started to drain the cream of the crop from America, Father helped George plan the move to Canada as a draft dodger. That was the last time they had seen each other. When the pardon finally came a decade later, Father had been dead for years. Phoenix shared her story with him, too. Her childhood in Wenzhou, a little town about 500 kilometers south of Shanghai. The things her mother had endured while bringing her up, 3 lifetimes' dose in Rain's words.